Well, in a matter of weeks, the city of Atlanta will end the practice of cash bail for minor nonviolent crimes. Not everyone thinks, though, that is a good idea. Keith Whitney is here now. And Keith, how do city officials, how do they plan to ease some of those concerns?
Well, Tracy, they're hoping to prove that those fears are unfounded with a pilot program that's going to collect data from the courts. Now, they are acutely aware that people already think of justice as a revolving door in Atlanta, and they want to slam that shut.
Is to keep in mind that
Earlier this month, when the mayor signed Atlanta's new no cash bail law into effect, many in the legal community still had questions, especially about the potential for defendants to simply not show up for court.
You know, the whole point of having a bond is to ensure the appearance of the defendant to come back to court. And if you take that away, they may not have an incentive to come back to court, you know, and then you have open cases, pending cases with, you know, dozens of bench warrants.
Kalpin Shah is a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. He believes reform is necessary to keep potentially innocent people from copping false pleas.
They'll go ahead and plead guilty, just so that they can get out. Whereas the right thing that should have been done is for an attorney to argue the facts of the case, the elements of the case, right? And you know, you don't get a chance to do that because your client is actually telling you, I'm just gonna plead guilty so I can get out today.
City Council President Felicia Moore also supports no cash bail, but wants the Atlanta Municipal Courts to conduct a 30-day pilot program to reduce the number of failures to appear, or FTAs.
Well, one of the things that I heard from some of the activists was the potential of making sure that people were adequately notified and notified even more than they have been about failures to appear, so that we can make sure that we don't have a high rate of failures to appear.
The city courts are already conducting their own 6-month review of no cash bail, but Moore says focusing on how to prevent FTAs is critical to the success of the new law.
And so it's asking them to sort of monitor in it from the time that we start the legislation and tell us, what are you going to do regarding FTAs? How do you notify them? And can we augment that with some other ideas to make sure that people have adequate notice of their court date?
Now, the City Council passed that measure today. Now, they also passed a resolution in other news opposing that bill under the Gold Dome that we've been talking about that would allow cities to de-annex. We'll keep you posted.